Indiana Disability History Project, Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Indiana University. Neglect in the institution. Sue Beecher.
In 1998, when I started at Protection and Advocacy, I was assigned as the advocate for Muscatatuck. And about a year into my monitoring, if you will, and we monitor all the state hospitals, P&A did that, they failed an ICFMR survey and essentially became decertified. Department of Justice became a presence there, and they were mandated to close.
Sue Gant.
Originally, the concern was about the conditions, health and safety of the individuals living at Muscatatuck. And so really the initial complaint was about condition, was not about deinstitutionalization. But as time went on, it became quite clear that the institutionalization segregation of people with disabilities was discriminatory, really did not provide the kinds of services and supports that the individuals needed.
There were, in my monitoring, we had seen the care of people becoming progressively worse. At one point, my supervisor and I walked onto a unit, and 12 of 14 people in that unit had noticeable bruises, black eyes. It was horrifying. And none of those injuries were recorded or documented. On another unit, I'd been there on Friday, I came back on Monday, and one of the clients had a broken limb, and nobody knew how it had occurred. You cannot walk onto a unit and see visible injuries on 12 of 14 people that weren't there the week before and not suspect something is terribly wrong there. And these folks were nonverbal, so they're not going to be able to tell. On that same unit, I was in the nurse's office, and I witnessed a staff, and I would have never dreamed that this staff would do this. Bring somebody back from lunch, she didn't know I was there, and she slapped this guy around. I was just stunned. And it was a person that needed one-on-one. It doesn't justify it, but I know that she just was frustrated and tired, but still.
So I think it was eye-opening for the state of Indiana to see that they really couldn't meet the individual's needs in this type of environment. So it wasn't as much of an act or a recommendation that was binding by the Department of Justice to deinstitutionalize, but it was very much more collaborative, to where the state saw that community development of community supports was really the right way to go. And it was really the only way to successfully, or at least appropriately, meet the needs of the individuals that were being housed at Muscatatuck. And some of the individuals, their entire lives, decades of institutionalization.
Music, Redwood Trail. Produced by Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Center for Health Equity. Funded by the Indiana Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. Copyright 2021, the Trustees of Indiana University.